Hi guys, I've just been asked to do a quick movie showing you how to set the press up for reliefs using our runners system that we developed, I think it was about 8 years ago now, and ever since we've been providing free printing runners and a printing blanket, which is this one's a little bit old. I need a replacement for my press. This is a PVC printing mat. It prints everything from mezzotins all the way up to beautiful etchings, photo etchings. On our presses you don't need to use it for reliefs, so for any linos or wood blocks. Also, free printing runners come with the press as well. These are our printing runners. They range from 2mm all the way up to 30mm. And we have a system where the runners attach themselves to the press bed so that when you're printing straight linos or reductions or multiple plates, you know they're not going to move. And we have a wonderful system of registration, so you can not only print reduction, multi-plates, you can also print wallpaper as well, which is a fantastic jig. There we go, and now it's to set the pressure. Really simple. You just drop the top rollers down on top of the runners, no blanket. Now, on our gunning etching presses, you always know where you are with your pressure, because the tommy bar, the feel of the tommy bar will tell you where you are. So if you righty tighty all the way down, they will get hard to pull round, and that's how you will know that they are both even. The trick is with lino wood blocks. Any plates you're using with these runners is to have the runners all the way over your press. You don't want splits, you don't want to use wood that's just sections. You need it all the way along because your top roller is running along them. That's why we named them runners. So, you want to get the correct pressure. Now, the trick is making your plate the right height. It is now not really about the amount of pressure your top roller is putting on your runners. And yes, you want a nice bite, but you don't want it to be hard to pull through. See, so that's quite a nice pressure. As you use your gunning etching press, you get used to knowing what pressure to use for what plate. Now, if I just show you this is just a Hessian backed lino, 3.2mm thick. You can tell that it won't print because if we put that on there now with a piece of paper, yes, it feels like it's biting, but it's not. 3.2mm thick to 4mm thick runners, you would not get an even print. So what you need to do is either use your registration bed, and you can put your plate down, ink it up and paper on top, and then a couple of pieces of packing paper to get rid of that few millimeters of a gap. And the way to do that, and to double check that you're doing it correctly, is packing paper. So in order to test it, put your packing paper next to your runner and your lino on top. Now if that feels too high, you're not going to get a good print and your plate is going to move. But if it's the right height, it will feel exactly the same height as your runner. And remember, you want to kiss the paper to your plate. And the way you do that is get your lino the right height, same height as the runners you're using. And this is the same principle for any thickness of runner and any plate you're using, from lino all the way up to wood block and letterpress, which you can print on our press. So now I can ink up the plate, and I can put my paper on top. And if I want to use my reg bed, plate, paper I'm printing onto, and packing paper, and then I can just pull it through and you get a beautiful print. Now, if you don't get a beautiful print, it means you haven't got enough packing paper on. If you get a beautiful print but it feels too hard to pull through, you've got too much pressure. So it's very, very simple really, and this is why we've developed this way of working, because it's a fantastic way of simply producing work. Now, if you're working massive big plates and you're using this is our number 3, or you're using our number 4 press, or you're using the bespoke presses that we hand build, and you start to get a little slight wobble, when you're at the end of your print, you either haven't got the correct pressure, or you're not using the right paper, because paper can have a massive factor in printing, or you just need the right packing paper. Now if you still can't get a perfect print, which is extremely rare, then you can just glue your plate down or double side tape your plate down and use registration pins. Now our reg pins are brilliant, they're double, they're not single, but Turns Burton also do registration pins and they're brilliant, they're single. So there's lots and lots of ways around printing and getting perfect prints, but this way is fantastic. Now if I was now to use just a soft cut piece of lino and do exactly the same thing, test it to see. Now that to me is just about okay. So again, we'll do a test print. Put your paper on top. I'm just going to demo, sort of dummy it for you. Paper on top. See with the registration page you can tell where your paper's going and when your plate's going. So if you want to, you could actually use a Sharpie and that over the top. And then you can just pull it through. When it pulls through, you should feel it ever so slightly just going up and over your plate. The idea is with runners, you just keep seeing the plate to that paper. Now the next thing I can show you is letters. Now obviously the letters are going to be too high for the runners, so we just use the correct runners. So these runners here, can you see they're pretty much the same height, so we'd use them in exactly the same way. Lovely, nice, juicy, thick letters, look. Nice, thick wood block. Got a very lovely old wooden Indian carved bit of wood there, it's beautiful. Letters in a chase, lovely thick, need the 20mm thick runners for those. But runners go up to 30mm thick, but mainly for letters people will need the 25mm thick ones. And of course our presses can print everything else as well, so etchings, collagraphs, photo etchings, mezzotints, carborundum. I can't think of anything else. Basically anything you can get in between a gap of 30mm thick, using runners or not, and using blankets or not. Anyway, if you do want any more information, please give us a call. Thank you, bye.